What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Torino Career Mode. This is episode number 89, and we start today's episode off here with a use commentary report so you can see how our player in our academy is currently doing. So far, just a one, as you can see, Leandro Viorna, who probably will get released, and also Zardes came to us and said he wants to go out on loan in the January transfer window. He said that last month, he says it again here, he probably will go out on loan because as much as I like Zardes in the squad, he's a security option. I know he's there if I need him to play in any games. He hasn't made an appearance all season, and of course he's behind quite a few players now. So despite his goal to game ratio being very, very impressive indeed, must be close to 1-in-1 despite being a squad player, he's still probably going to go out on loan just because we don't need him. We'll free up some wage space and it'll keep him happy. And also a squad report as well, so you can see how the players are currently doing. A couple of players are going up and looking pretty nice. Danilo as an 86 rated right back. I haven't really mentioned it too many times, but if you remember in the first season, Bruno Perez was our right back. We sold him to West Ham. We signed Danilo for, I think it was £1 million cheaper, and what a superb piece of business that turned out to be. Without doubt, one of my best pieces of business in this series. And as for the league table, 14 games in, we are in third place. We've won 12 games out of 14, one draw and one defeat, but of course that one draw and one defeat came in the last two games. We lost to Juventus and then we drew with Milan in the last game, so it's not worrying or anything. You know, we were 12 from 12 to start the season off with, but it's still a little bit of a shame to know that we lost our winning streak, and now we're 2 games without a win. But there you go. As for the Champions League, as you can see, I did mention in the last episode, after our win against Atletico Madrid away at the Vicente Calderon, it does mean that going into the final game, if we beat Ajax, we will guarantee a place in the knockout stages in either first or second, depending on what the result is between Porto and Atletico Madrid. Because Porto and Atletico Madrid play each other, it does mean that neither of those teams can not both of those teams can qualify if we win. But of course, if we don't win, it means that Porto will qualify if we draw and they lose because their head rule and theirs is better than ours. And there's a few different scenarios, but basically the main thing you need to know is that if we win, we go through. If we fail to win, we go out. Simple as that. But still, we take on Palermo for the first game of today's episode here. Probably should have said that first, shouldn't I? Take on Palermo for the first game of today's episode here in the Serie A, going away from home. Of course, 2 games without a win now in the Serie A, losing to Juventus and then drawing against Milan at the Stadio Olimpico de Torino. So going on the road again, the first chance would fall to us, but the goalkeeper made a good save. And then 21st minute, another good chance for us here as Immobile strikes the ball from just outside the area, but it goes wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0, but early pressure coming from Torino. And in the 29th minute, another good chance for the away side here as Nicola Muri finds Neymar down the left-hand side. Takes it around Cabore here, keeps on going. Nice little Berber spin by Neymar as well. Plays a lovely ball over the top towards Florenzi, who heads it down to Baselli, and it is a wonderful strike by Daniele Baselli, who makes it Palermo 0, Torino 1 with a really nice first-time volley, rifling the ball past Viviano into the back of the net. And I thought that was a very, very nice goal there because Baselli is a rare goal scorer. He's lost his place in the first team. He's a reserve player now, but whenever he plays, he does really well. I do like Baselli as a player. He's a pretty underrated player, I'd say. But that is a really nice strike by Baselli. His first goal of the season, and the number 4 makes it 1-0 to Torino. So good strike there, and it's 1-0 to the away side. In the 38th minute, Gabbiadini goes for goal from a mile out, but almost finds the back of the net, goes just over the bar and behind for a goal kick, but I think Viviano had it covered. And in the 41st minute, a good chance for Palermo to equalise from this corner here. It's not fully dealt with, and Lustenberg gets onto the ball and finds his teammate. Eventually Cabore rolls it off towards his teammate, and it comes to Vazquez at the far post, but the shot goes into the side netting and behind for a goal kick. So still Palermo 0, Torino 1, and another good chance for the home side to equalise on the stroke of half time. Mykonot goes down the right hand side, swings it across to his teammate, but the header is well saved by Bernie and eventually cleared away by Muru. So still Palermo 0, Torino 1 as Palermo going in search of that equalising goal. But in the 51st minute, as Gabbiadini wins the ball back for us here, he slides it through towards Immobile, who has one man to beat, beats Munoz here, goes to shoot. It's a good recovery block, but it comes straight back to Immobile, who just smashes the ball into the roof of the net and makes it Palermo 0, Torino 2. So good block initially by the Palermo defender, but as soon as it fell back to Immobile there, he's like 5-6 yards out, and he just smashes the ball with all his shot power into the roof of the net, and Viviano has literally no chance of saving that one from close range. So Immobile always going to score there, and does indeed. So Palermo 0, Torino 2, Immobile's 4th goal of the season. Obviously this season, with the introduction of Neymar and Sterling and Lucas, Immobile's been dropped to the bench, but He still gets starts in some games, and of course he comes off the bench a lot. He's certainly not a player who's going to sulk and whinge and not play to his best of abilities. Now he's lost his place in the first team. Still banging in the goals, and he gets his 4th in the league there. Baselli went close to scoring his 2nd goal there in the 74th minute, but dragged his shot wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. It was still 2-0. And to be honest, in the second half, Palermo really didn't do much. They ended the first half really brightly with a couple of good chances, but in the second half, they just didn't get going at all, to be honest. And in the 79th minute, after some nice passing, Baselli, who scored our first goal, plays a brilliant ball over the top towards Immobile down the left-hand side here. Immobile has scored our 2nd goal, holds it off, finds Mura with a nice little skill pass, crosses the ball in. Lorenzo Motta wins the header, and our academy graduate makes it Palermo 0, Torino 3. So lovely cross in by Muru there, lovely little ball by Immobile too, with a nice little skill pass. And after Muru's cross finds Motta in the centre, he heads it past Viviano and does indeed make it 3-0. So Palermo 0, Torino 3. The points are surely in the bag now securely, and we are going to get ourselves our first win in a couple of league games, because those games against Juventus and Milan were so frustrating. You know, to lose our winning streak to our rivals away at Juventus, we were 12 wins from 12, and then they beat us away at Juventus Stadium in stoppage time with that Gundogan goal. And then of course in the game against Milan, a very poor goalless draw in that game. You know, we were frustrated with that because we'd scored in every single league game prior to that one. Those were 2 bad results for us. So coming into this game, we had to bounce back. We had to put in a good performance and get a really solid result, and that's exactly what we were going to do. We were playing really well. Everyone was putting in a good shift, and Viviano made a couple of great saves here to make sure it would stay at 3-0 and not 4-0. Good couple of stops there by the goalkeeper, but the most important thing were the 3 points with a good victory, and that's exactly what happened. So final score, Palermo 0, Torino 3. We do bounce back with the win in this game. A really solid performance, definitely deserved as well in my opinion. Tiny bit more possession, 7 more shots and 4 more of which were on target. Motta was my player of the game, but it could have gone to quite a few players. Baselli, I thought, had a really solid game. Muru was good as well, so was Immobile. Everyone played well, to be honest, but either way, Motta won my player of the game, and there you go. Still following out, we saw that Grenier is returning from injury, which is great to see, and also that he says he wants a new contract as well. He and Gabbiadini could possibly both be leaving in January, depending on what happens. I am in the market for a new central midfielder. Verratti, as I mentioned before, will be my main target. We looked at him in the summer, but couldn't afford him. But either way, with Gabbiadini's on the transfer list, he'll probably be the one that does go, but if he doesn't, not against selling Grenier either, as both of those players have been complaining for a while that they want new contracts, when I don't think that either of them really deserve them. Still, we take on Ajax for the 2nd and final game of today's episode here, as Ajax come and take us on to Stadio Olimpico de Torino. And of course, coming into this game, as I mentioned a minute ago, we have to win in order to go through to the Champions League knockout stages. If we win, we're through to the knockout stages, and if we fail to win, we are out. It's as simple as that. So, had a lot of first team players playing in this game. Only 1 or 2, I think, were backup players like Benassi, but the first chance fell to us, but Danilo's shot was well saved by Silerson. But from the corner, Hakan Çalhanoğlu swings the ball into the centre after trying to crowd out Silerson here. Try and make it awkward for the goalkeeper. It's crossed in by the Turkish midfielder, and who wins the header? It's Benassi, who I just mentioned there, one of the very few players who aren't usually in the first 11, gets the opening goal of the game, heads it past Silerson, and makes it Torino 1, Ajax 0. So lovely corner by Çalhanoğlu there. He doesn't get too many goals anymore, but he still picks up a helpful handful of assists every now and then. There's another one there, and Benassi heads in to make it 1-0 to the home side. And in the 16th minute, a great chance to make it 2-0. Danilo wins the ball back here and finds Raheem Sterling down the left-hand side, takes on Van Rijn, beats him with a quick little fake shot, then a nice little burst spin to get inside. The tackle is made, but Alexandra gives it back to Sterling, and how about that for a finish from Raheem Sterling, the former Liverpool man, curling the ball over Silerson and into the back of the net. That was a very nice strike indeed. I thought it might have taken a deflection, hence why Silerson seemed to be so rooted to the spot, I guess, but either way, as you'll see, it was actually just a clean strike from Sterling, lifts it over Silerson and into the back of the net. A really good strike there by our young attacking midfielder, and he does make it Torino 2, Ajax 0. So good goal there by Sterling, and it's 2-0 to Torino. And in the 29th minute here, Lucas wins us the ball back here with a nice show of strength and finds his Brazilian colleague Neymar, who rides a slide challenge, keeps hold of the ball and finds Masaccio. Masaccio plays it back to Lucas, who won the ball back initially, takes it around the number 5 with a nice little body feint and rifles the ball in at the near post. So really nice strike there by Lucas, winning the ball back, joining the attack, getting the ball and putting it in the back of the net. Great stuff from Lucas, and it's Torino Torino 3, Ajax 0, and that will surely be the game now as well. With an hour still to play, I was feeling so confident, I was playing so well, and I just could not see Ajax getting back into this game at all because we were dominating and looking so in control. So Torino 3, Ajax 0 with an hour to play. I was so confident saying that to myself, but either way, Ajax would get a chance in the 43rd minute. Vernie had to make a pretty simple save to turn his header over the bar for a corner, and in the 63rd minute, another good chance for Ajax here, but their chances were coming too far between one another, to be honest. They weren't really getting a pattern of chances in quick succession. It was really routine for us to just control them and keep them at bay. And in the 90th minute, we had a great chance to seal it in stoppage time, make it 4-0, and put the icing on the cherry on the cake with this, which I know was really ambitious, but I thought I might have been able to pull it off. A nice little ball roll into a Rabona, but sadly Neymar ends up hitting the post. So it was certainly worth a go, seeing as we were already going to win the game. We're into stoppage time and 3 goals up. Certainly would have done that at 0-0 with the game in the balance, but either way, sadly I couldn't score it. Would have been a lovely way to end the group off. As you'll see, we did win the game by 3-0, which means we have qualified in 2nd place after Atletico Madrid beat Porto, but sadly it wasn't to be. Still yet to score a Rabona goal in this year's FIFA, but you never know, we might do it before the series ends. But that does end the episode, guys, so as always, big thank you for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode of Torino Career Mode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Torino Career Mode very soon.